Begin PODFIX network transmission in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, this is former WWF Light Heavyweight Champion Gilbert, brother, and you're listening to the Cretins Guild Podcast.
And then I punched a nun.
Really?
Yeah, well, you know, she had it coming.
Yeah, well, but there was like a bunch of them.
Well, no, just specifically Sister Tabitha. She knows what she did.
Yeah, but did the others not come after you? Like
No, dude,
immediately?
they punched her too.
Yeah, no turning the cheek in that crowd, I guess.
No, not at all.
Well, they did, just so, you know, the other ones could make contact with it. You know.
Oh,
No one's seen an airplane.
What episode is this?
Does it matter after that?
It's the episode where even
Whatever
Bob,
episode you want it to be.
Bob didn't even give enough of a shit about it to make a rundown. That's which episode it is. No, you
Welcome everybody to episode 103-ish of the Cretins Guild Podcast. I am Jay. With me as always is Fuck Chinley and Skipper Bob.
That's right. Yeah.
And how's everyone doing tonight?
It's very good. But now 100 is like the threshold that we're allowed to hit when we can stop like intentionally counting.
Well, I mean, I know
We have
we've got
so
to
far.
100.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean it's been like the reason y'all stop counting. I don't do the intros because you know I suck at that. Is basically, well, I don't know really why. Laziness, is that it, or just adherence
Laziness
to
is a
form?
valid reason.
Efficiency? We can go with that.
That is not a reason.
It's not a reason.
There's nothing efficient about this show, Corey.
No.
Words I'd use to describe our podcast. Efficient. No.
No,
it'd be
not on
great.
the list.
It'd be great to be combative on that with you, but fuck it.
Efficient does not enter our mind map of design efficiency of our podcast.
No efficiency whatsoever within this workspace.
We're wildly inefficient. We're very inefficient, or we're very efficient at being inefficient.
Well, inefficient conversation is the best kind of conversation.
Sure.
And we wouldn't be trafficking in anything but. We have
How
made...
are you guys doing? What's going on in your life?
I'm
Tell me what's been going on.
indifferent.
You're indifferent?
I'm indifferent. There's no shits to be bartered or tendered within this whole thing. Our whole deal.
Okay. Bob, you got raided the other night, huh?
Yeah, I've hit. I'm over 50 followers on Twitch now, which for some people like so fucking what. But hey, big deal for me.
I have 2. Good job.
Dude,
No.
I broke 8. And I did that shit twice a week for like 6 months. It was a good cat. Well, I didn't catch the live cast. I just saw the replay of it, but you were killing it, so
Yeah.
that's easy to believe.
It was super cool to watch. It was super cool to see your reaction to that happening. Like I'm glad you posted that clip. That was really, really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like a snowball effect of like 3 people wanting to raid me all at once. And like, who are you people, and why are you so awesome?
Which is unlike the last raid that we got, where... Which I'm glad that we're in like the laughing range of that now, but...
Oh, we were in the laughing range that night. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but it was kind of like, what?
This is
Yeah.
before I knew what that was. Yeah. It's like...
It was fucking hilarious.
So who ended up doing the raid? Do you know?
A couple people that I'm, Steffers, who is part of the Monorail family. I'm friends with her.
Yep. Stephanie is money.
And then like a couple of friends who suggested a raid on me. But it was basically Heel Kevin is the guy's name. And another guy, his name escapes me right now. He's like a friend of a friend of a friend, that kind of thing. It's like, hey, let's raid this guy. He only has like 10 followers. Cool. But it was incredibly sweet of all these people to just, and it was kind of funny how I had the alert set up on my Twitch where I get a new follower, and the sound effect could not keep up. It was
That's
it
a
was
good fucking feeling, though.
That was
isn't it?
super
Yeah.
cool to see, man. That
It
was,
sounded like a friggin' pinball machine.
Yeah. Although you gotta admit, not very much of a heel move though on the part of heel Kevin.
Yeah, I called him out on that. I was like,
It's a little anti-heelish to be quite frank about it.
Yeah.
Almost babyface. Babyface. Thank you.
Babyface.
Shitty Sean Connery impersonator.
You've got that ugly little baby face. You fucking whore.
And then slap it with a 2x4.
My God. The baby has earned itself some ire. I don't know really which baby hasn't.
So yeah, that was really fun to see. So you're up over 50 now.
Yep.
So are you going to be a professional Twitch streamer? Because I don't know if that's a lot or a little or what. Because I'm terrified of that platform.
I think that is like one of the prerequisites to hit affiliate status.
I've seen people hit affiliate with like fucking 20. So I would go and pursue
you need
that.
50.
Need 50?
Yeah, unless there's standards that change over the last few years. But yeah, you need 50.
Then I should have been a little less exact. A paltry amount of viewers.
Well, you need 50 and
yeah.
like a couple other notes, like you have to stream a couple of times a month and then hit so many hours in a month and have so many people chatting at the same time. There's a couple of prerequisites, and I think I'm still short of one, maybe.
What's that one?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
A little payola, a little grease palmery, or
Little handy behind the Tim Hortons.
a little.
Gotta give it a little squeezer.
That's gonna cost me 2 loonies and a toonie.
Hey, fuck you, bud.
Just trying to come up with something clever and vulgar, and I can't do it because you two are so much better at it. Son of a bitch.
No, you handle the vulgar just well.
Yeah, you do great with vulgarity.
Yeah, it's brute force vulgarity. The brute face vulgarity.
That too.
Yeah,
That's a thing now. You
That's
just uttered it into existence.
that's a 6-digit number
You put
as far
that
as
out
some people are
into the
concerned.
universe.
And now the universe has to deal with it.
We were talking about conventions a minute ago, and Jay, you've been to how many recently?
Oh fuck. Okay.
Say in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
The last. So all right. So I will recap my last 3 weeks because it's been fucking nuts. All right. So 3 weeks ago, I was in Milwaukee for Midwest Gaming Classic, which is my favorite show of the year. It's fucking massive show. Milwaukee's a cool ass town. The food is amazing and just so full of fat.
It's Milwaukee.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really cool because I went to MGC last year in November, and this year they moved it back to their normal time, which is in first weekend of May, I think, or last weekend of April, first weekend of May, because it ran into May 1st, and that was awesome. We got an Airbnb with some other YouTubers, hung out there, had a great old time, went and saw Sonic 2, which is a fucking fun movie.
Dude, is it not depressing as shit that that's the movie that Jim Carrey's going out on? Not because it's Sonic 2, but because he's been like killing it in both of those movies.
Hey, I'm happy if that's how he's going to go out. I'm happy he's going out on that.
Yeah,
note
they're going to go for the trifecta though, and he's not going to be part of it, which is what depresses me.
He will.
He will.
Yeah, you think they're just kind of okay. So, all right, not to break into it. There's a little part
nodding
of me.
my head on an audio podcast. Yes.
Don't worry, we're all guilty of
Yes,
those
we're all
sins by
guilty.
this point. Yeah,
true.
It's cool. As a matter of fact, I think we should expect that by now. There's a little part of me that's thinking about that whole story as kind of like getting people preemptively hyped for the idea of a third movie.
No, not everyone's seen it yet.
2?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not describing any of the movies.
Not that you're blowing Oscar-worthy minds here, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know that Jim Carrey is in it, so I don't think that's a spoiler. But there
He's
is
on
also,
the poster.
He's on the poster, right? I mean, it's pretty flagrant, honestly. Tipping that much of their hand. But there was like, do you remember the big controversy? And I use this term loosely. That prefaced the first one, right?
With Sonic's look.
Yeah, with the whole aesthetic, and then it looked like shit. And there's a lot of people out there saying that was false because they were trying to drum up interest in the movie. And if you just drop, boom, that kind of a product in front of like one of the most cynical and hypercritical audiences in any fandom, that they're going to see what they got eventually and be like, hey,
Yeah, it's called the new
me.
Coke method.
The new Coke method, exactly. So I think that people are kind of like saying that about this possibility, this hypothetical idea that the third movie is even going to become a thing by saying Jim Carrey is retiring, which is kind of funny because that also implies that he's not going to have any other movies happening after Sonic 2 until this third one happens, which is kind of ludicrous, really. It's still Jim Carrey, but that's what I think, because it's a stupid idea. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm regretting all of it.
That's normal.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. It's par for the course.
So Milwaukee was cool. Convention was great. I was given an award when I was there, which is pretty cool.
You got
Yeah. No, I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay.
So there is a group called it's a man called Walter Day. He's in charge of like certifying like high scores in arcade games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of the driving force behind speedrunning and high score competitions and stuff like that. And it's kind of spun away from just doing that to kind of doing like a who's who in gaming. And one of the things that happened at this show was I was given an award by being let me it's I know it's a video podcast or an audio podcast, but I kind of need to show off what it is. So give me 1 second.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, Old School Gamer Magazine gave me this, one of the superstars of 2022.
Trading card awards ceremonies.
Yeah, so I have trading cards with my big fat fucking face on them now.
And it wasn't the photo of you holding up the meat.
No, it wasn't the big beefy bullshit card. It's me holding a GameCube controller.
Tragic.
I don't have that picture anymore. Otherwise, I would
do.
use that for my publicity shots.
I do. I have the PSD that I made it with.
So yeah, I got that award. A bunch of us did. I did. My friend Chris did. John Riggs, John Hancock. We all got awards from this company, and we have trading cards we can give to people. And yeah, it was crazy. It was.
So instead of like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Kind of like the first time I've really been hyper aware of the fact that I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Because when someone gives you an award and says you're really good at this, and you go, yeah, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Roll with it.
Yeah, it led to a couple
Imposter syndrome.
There you go.
Yeah.
Couple about a week of just really dealing with heavy imposter syndrome and needing to get out of my own headspace for a little while, which was great because after that, the crazy weeks rolled on. When we got back from Milwaukee, we went to Letterkenny Live, which was fucking fantastic and not fucking embarrassing.
But would you call it a masterpiece?
I would call it a master PS.
Nice.
It was great. So one of the things that they do, and I didn't realize that they did this when we saw it in Detroit a couple of years ago, because I don't know fuck all about Detroit. Detroit's a shithole, and I don't want to be there. But I do know a lot about Kalamazoo. And they do a bit with Shorzy, obviously. And Shorzy is yelling with Riley and Jonesy. And for 5 minutes, it's just riffing on local stuff. It's like, I don't remember what, your mom calls anyone who says the line between your mom's mitt and her taint is a rough road is never driven down Westnage in the middle of the night. And it's fucking fantastic. So just 5 minutes of that, of just local shit going off. It was great. But the show was fantastic. It was really needed just because I was not great after the award ceremony. And then we went camping for 4 days up in Holland, Michigan, and that was fine, and that was nice and relaxing. And then I got back, and then I went to another convention, and that was this past weekend down in Columbus, Ohio, at CorgsCon, which is the Columbus, Ohio Retro Gaming Society convention. And that show is amazing. It's a one-day show, just the swappiest of swap meets. And it's just, it's so good. So good. So much stuff from fucking floor to ceiling. Prices were great. People were great. There was no air in the building, and that really sucked. Because by the end of the day...
Hopefully there was some deodorant in the building.
Not as much as you'd hope. Little fucking funky, not gonna lie to you. But the show was great, and I got to hang out with a bunch of people. Let's see, mainly Riggs. Riggs and I were at a table together. I had a table with my name on it, like like guests at a convention do.
Did you provide the table, or was it
No,
just there?
no. They gave us the table, and it's like here, your name's on it. Now it wasn't like a fancy one at MegaCon where they get the placards printed out. It was a fucking piece of paper with my name scribbled on it. But I didn't.
No, that's fine.
That was cool as hell.
It's a table for you to sit at, and then I guess you put your shit on top of it. But
Yep.
Did you have merch?
I didn't because I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to do.
concubines, you bring concubines, and then
I
they just
didn't
stand around you.
realize I didn't realize that going to a convention as a guest for the first time, it would have been logical to ask, my friend John, hey, what the fuck do I do with this thing? I really should have asked that question. I didn't. So I had a little pile of business cards that was about this big, and a little pile of stickers that was about this big on the very corner of the table. So I'm like,
you want my sticker?
so next year I'll have something to do.
Hey, Corey and I will fly up there, and we will be your booth babes.
Dude, I will be so happy, but you both have to dress as Slave Leia.
Yeah, okay. Oh, what, Bob? You're gonna leave me hanging on this shit?
No,
God
I gotta
damn it.
find a golden brazier that fits my size.
Okay,
for sure.
why don't you have one already? That's an outfit for all occasions.
Yeah, you can't find anything right now. Everything is on back order.
All right,
It's
all right.
fucking
I'll give you the
shit
gold
short, man.
filigree's kind of hard to get a hold of right now.
So, show is great. My video for that actually went live today, and it is doing stupid good last I checked. Let's see. 281 views, which I know for a lot of people doesn't sound like a lot, but that's
More than what I get.
You two bitches and your humility. I'm getting tired of it. I'm gonna whip my dick out and show you real humility.
okay.
Now, the walls in this place are very thin. I went out on a limb with that one. I hope you really appreciate it.
So the video is doing really well. It's 1 out of 10. It's not my highest video for a while. It won't be there tomorrow because I've had a couple that have kind of spiked up in views overnight,
Right.
just for various reasons. But it's got like a 10% click-through rate, so people are seeing it and they're watching it, and that means a lot to me.
Bob, for the YouTube illiterate, that means
Click-through rate is someone sees the thumbnail and they say, "Oh, that title and thumbnail are interesting enough. I'll watch that," and they click it.
oh, okay.
So
All right.
of
You got to ask him. I don't get that kind of traffic.
Right.
Of the number of impressions, so like I've got 10% right now. If 100 people have seen it, 10 people have watched it.
Okay.
So,
shit. Holy shit.
And I got to do a panel. I was on a panel for the first time, which was fun. And yeah, it was a good time. It was a really good time. And Columbus is awesome.
How nerve-wracking was that?
Not nerve-wracking at all. It
cool.
actually wasn't bad. I kind of, like I said, the camping trip I used to kind of get my head right and kind of get back to being comfortable with who I am. And I thought I was going to be really nervous going up to the panel, but when I got up there, I was like, this is fine. It's me, John, Mike, and like 20 people are sitting here. So it's just shooting the shit with folks. So it was fine. And then, the next day, it was a one-day show, so we ended the show, and then we went back to the hotel room and fell asleep because there was no air in the fucking convention center. We were fried, literally. Yeah. But the next day, we just kind of drove around Columbus until John had to fly out, and it's kind of a nerd mecca. Like it's got a amazing toy store right on Main Street called Big Fun, which is like the best of what Acme used to be, crammed into like an early 1900s storefront that goes from the storefront all the way fucking back. It's like walking into Lowry's in downtown Three Rivers, but it's the size of a closet.
Kokomo Toys.
Yes.
It was like that place, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. God. As far as like aesthetic goes, Kokomo Toys is like one of the most splendid things you could ever let your eyes absorb. It was so cool.
But let's see, what did I get there? I got. Do you guys remember the toys, or the little figures when Willow came out? Little, almost like tin soldiers.
I have no fucking clue. No, I don't remember those at all.
Well, I found 3 of those and I grabbed those. And I got a garbage can of mussels.
Oh,
Nice.
fuck.
And it's a repack. It's not an original, and it's full of common mussels. But I got a garbage can. I'm happy.
Yeah. No, nobody's really looking at gift horse in the mouth. Or
Are we talking like a little plastic garbage can? Or are we talking like a full-on?
No. It's they used to sell mussels in garbage cans.
Right,
They were
little
like,
plastic ones, right?
yeah, this tall, that big around. It's like the size of a coffee, like a Coke can, basically. But yeah, they used to sell them like that, and that was like one of my favorite things to get as a kid was to get the garbage can of mussels. So
It's about the size of the tiki mug, the Nashville
yeah, the Tennessee Trash.
Tennessee Trash. That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's been my adventures for the last 3 weeks. And I got promoted at work.
Mm-hmm.
So since I got back from the
You're Millhouse, and everything's coming up you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thrill House.
Since I got back from the convention
Thrill
at
House.
Columbus, it's been 3 straight days of interviewing people.
Mhm.
So it's been like non-fucking stop for 3 days, for 3 weeks now, going on 4 weeks. So, but it's fun. I'm looking forward to sleeping soon.
Sleep is overrated. I should know.
But so nice when you get it.
So how about you, Bob? You got anything going on in your professional life?
A couple of different things. I do want to talk about a little past preview thing I did a week ago over at Epcot, the
Oh, yeah?
Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Oh, you got to do it.
I did get to do it. Alicia and I grabbed passes. We as soon as I got off of work Monday morning, we went straight over to Epcot,
Nice.
went in, and I think you guys would enjoy this ride.
Now this, because it's Disney World, this isn't the one that replaced Twilight Zone. This is in Epcot.
No. This is at Epcot. This replaced Universe of Energy.
Oh, thank God.
Wow, what a bummer. All right, anyway.
Universe of Energy was a great nap on a hot day.
Yeah.
But
Dude, the only thing, okay, I guess there's people that came into it after the Ellen years, but the only thing I remember from Universe of Energy is the big rubber dinosaur, and that's it.
Yeah,
well,
that's basically it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
it was
I
like-
mean, the
it
pre-show
was like-
had Bill Nye and Alex Trebek, and obviously, well, we should probably phase that out by now.
Jeez, I don't even remember that.
But it was like 40 minutes long. If you
Yeah.
just sitting in a car, it was a great way on a hot day to get in the air conditioning for an hour.
Well, it was 40 minutes long, and you're sitting on like a giant theater floor in some sort of a bleacher setup
Yeah.
for like 40 minutes, and the bleachers move slightly. So there's no real like what's the word I'm looking for? Something that makes it a ride, basically.
Well, I mean, there's movement.
There's movement.
That's
It's mostly in your bowels though, because you need to go to the bathroom because it's too fucking long.
Oh yeah, they do warn you that it's like this is like a good 25-minute ride. You might want to hit the can before getting on.
Yeah, and hopefully with Guardians, that's not the case.
No, Guardians was over in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The original Universe of Energy pavilion, that is all the queue now. The ride itself is a separate building all of its own,
Cool.
and it's a launch start. And I remember seeing test footage of when they were first putting the ride together, like in Germany or wherever they originally built it. And these two engineers are sitting in it, and
Ich bin Groot. Sorry.
Ich bin Groot. So these cars, they do go on a track, but they rotate to the left and to the right so they can get you to look in a particular direction that you want. There's dips, there's curves, there's turns and everything. So it's not really like any other ride out there. Not even like say Hogwarts. It's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where your car is on an arm and the arm is like twisting and turning in all kinds of directions. You're on a track, and it's in pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
I could not follow the story at all because I was not prepared for the ride. Because the
Sensory overload.
yeah, it was a little bit of a sensory overload because even though it's in like pitch dark, and you could see like a little bit of track, but not enough to make me calm, especially. In the dark, it looks like you're going faster than you really are.
Uh-huh.
So the whole time, I'm like in a THX promo ad with my hair blowing. I'm like, oh god, what's flying around corners, and I could not. I think there was a story involved in the ride. I don't know. I was too busy like grasping onto the armrest for dear life, and I can proudly say I did not have to take the walk of shame on this one. This is built for just about any kind of body, frame, size, whatever.
Yeah.
Nice. Good.
That's something Universal really needs to step its fucking game up on.
Yeah.
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 Not to throw Universal under the bus, but here's the bus Universal. get under it. Because there's so many fucking rides there that just how much do these engineers get paid to solve problems? That's essentially what an engineer's role in that sort of a setup is.
They don't think fat people go on thrill rides.
Oh man, how long have they been in Florida?
They don't.
Well, they make it in Germany.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I mean, Groot's about the size of a redwood in Germany. You'd think they'd use that as an indicator, but maybe not. I don't know. That's one thing and I haven't always had like that kind of a problem with rides like that. But like your introduction to any sort of those virtual track rides. I don't know if there's a name for them, but basically whatever Spider-Man is when you're in a car's moving, but not as much as you think it is because whatever you're seeing is misleading you. There's so much like especially like the Hogwarts one when you mentioned it. Like the first time I went into Gringotts ride, that one, I got on it. I remembered that I remember getting into a car and like seeing Helena Bonham Carter at some point, but remembering like fucking none of it as soon as I got off because there was so much shit happening, you know, and it takes like maybe 2 to 3 more rides in order to realize that like, oh, there's a narrative here. That's not Ron Weasley, but it looks like him.
That was me with Transformers at Universal.
Transformers still does that shit with me, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Like Transformers, I rode it and I got off of it. I was like, I really like that.
What the hell happened?
I don't know what the fuck was going on, but I really liked that ride.
Yeah, it was. Actually, the funny thing is that like Transformers is actually a mirrored track to Spider-Man. I think that's pretty much common knowledge.
I think it's very similar. I'm not sure if it's 100% mirror, but yeah, it's.
I don't mean mirrored. I mean it's the same fucking ride.
Oh, the same. Yeah,
with the same beats and everything. Like when Doc Ock is throwing the flame arm at you, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't have in the comics, but whatever. That's when who was it? That's when you're getting an afterburner blown in your face at the same exact spot, and all that other stuff. And I forget which Transformer it is that like blows water all over you, and I don't even want to know because they're not supposed to do that. That's basically a UTI for a Transformer, isn't it? When a hose bursts.
Probably.
Like the minute that happens in the ride, you should be hearing Optimus or whoever it goes going, "Oh, I'm sorry."
You should get that looked at.
Autobots, zip up and let's go.
Ironhide, stop lubricating the man.
The one spot in the first movie I always fucking hated is when Bumblebee pees oil on the John Turturro. That was so stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's Michael Bay.
Also true.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So, the Guardians ride. I'm sorry.
What else you got going on, Bob?
Well, that was last week. This week is MegaCon.
Oh.
And I just bought myself a new DSLR, so I've been practicing with it, training with it, trying to learn its pros and cons and little quirks and everything. So I'm going to be walking around for the next 3 days, just taking photos of cosplayers.
Just make sure you ask, because...
Yeah, I learned that the hard way a couple years back.
I was there for that.
You were?
Yeah, that pyramid head was very forgiving, though.
Yeah.
It was a pyramid head, right?
Yeah, it was a she pyramid head, but yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, well, she didn't cut you in half. That's good. I had to walk away from that without a scratch.
That was courteous. That was very polite of her.
Yeah, I know. It's like pyramid heads calmed down a lot since Silent Hill 2. Also, swap biology somehow, but maybe that's part of James' subconscious. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to try and get in line, meet a couple of celebrities. Like all 4 of the hobbits from Lord of the Rings are going to be there.
Nice.
Is disgruntled Gandalf going to be there?
I think he's too old to travel, but
damn it.
That TikTok you sent me was hilarious.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was so good.
You didn't see what he was doing.
No one talks
Out of
about
context.
what Pippin was doing before this. Everyone had the shits for a week.
God bless that old fart.
I want to get a photo with Ashley Eckhart. She's going to be there, the voice of Ahsoka. Yep. Let's see. I'm also going to Jay and Silent Bob. They're going to be there. Nathan Fillion's going to be there.
He smells good.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
He smells real good.
Should I smell his hair when I get up to him?
Do that.
No, you don't really need to. He
take
just
a
like
big,
exudes
deep
good odor.
draw
Like,
off of that.
He's just
It
a good
just walks
smelling dude.
off of him.
like I've almost been run over by Nathan Fillion.
I'm sorry. There's a story there.
Not much of a story, but yes, there is. So FX Show is working it, and I was in Artist Alley, and I was helping one of the artists pack up their stuff and carry their books out to their truck so they could drive home. And at the end of the show, Nathan stole an electric scooter from a fan and was just joyriding around the FX Show.
We're gonna have to assume because he's a polite Canadian, this fan did not need the electric scooter for anything.
Oh, I don't know.
Right.
But he came ripping around the corner and almost ran me over. And I apologized to him for being there.
As you should have.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, he smells good.
Okay.
I thought that ended differently though. Didn't he like yell back at you, sorry, or something like that?
I think he said it's okay or something like that. It was just, I was like, oh, it's okay. You know, just like.
He's such a nice, gracious man, that Nathan Fillion. Where's my niece?
And the last day of the convention, I'm going to actually try my hand at some public cosplay for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we've had a preview.
Yeah, I am nervous as fuck about it.
Don't be nervous. You look great. It's going to be awesome.
I've added some more stuff since the last preview I gave you guys to make it look better.
Okay.
And I think it works. It's just very self-conscious about being a fat cosplayer.
Don't be. You'll be fine.
Yeah, that doesn't mean shit anymore. Didn't mean shit initially anyway, but you know, the community used to be a different place back in the day. Yeah. Are you revealing it like on this one, or are you moving it? Are you displacing?
I'm gonna hold. Well, we're taping this. It's gonna air after it's happened. So
okay.
I could wake up on Saturday. It's like I don't want to do this. Like that could very well happen.
Well, I hope you don't, because I think the cosplay itself looks great without spoiling what it is.
Yeah.
I think you have, most importantly, you have the right facial expressions based on the pictures you've taken, which is 90% of a cosplay. Is if you can embody the attitude, then who the fuck cares what your body type looks like? Like, as long as you can fulfill the goal of playing the character that you're cosplaying as, you got it. And you are nailing it. So,
yep.
I think I am at the point of no return because I just had my hair dyed blonde.
Yep, thought so.
Yep.
But it says, like, you've either been in the sun an awful lot, and I know that's not the case because I know where you work. And
Which is kind of funny because most of the people at the place that he works at do have tans somehow, but they're in the building for about as long as, if not longer, than he is. So,
yeah, I didn't go full Steve Carino, but there is some yellow in there.
Yeah, nobody really goes full Steve Carino unless they're like on B block, and they don't have enough cigarettes. Anyway, without teasing too much about the cosplay, I think I said this earlier in chat, but I meant it. I really wish I could be down there to go like bowling with you in this getup afterwards, because that would be fucking money. Yeah, that would have been the shits. But there are no shits to be had during MegaCon this year.
There's no more shits to be had.
Nope, we are shitless. And God, fuck, man. When's the last time I was? Okay, do either one of you two remember going to a con with me in the last 5 years even?
2019 MegaCon.
2019 MegaCon?
Yeah. I know this because I just rewatched the video I edited a few days ago. It's like,
wait,
that's with me.
That's the one we were talking about.
That was the one with Pyramid Head Girl.
Okay, all right. Shit, I'm barely like grasping onto any of these memories. Just
that's why I take video.
What's that?
That's why I take video of. I vlog some of these things because I wouldn't remember on my own.
A visual record. That's a very good idea. Now C2E2 would have been like 2 months ago, but. Chicago's got its own way of doing things right now and trying to catch up with like all of its delayed shows and events and stuff, which they couldn't do that with Kindle Market, but it's Christmas. So I believe C2E2 is taking place this December, and I'm going to be fucking long gone before then. So, yeah, no cons for me this year. So,
well, you're going down towards the Jacksonville area, right?
I think so. It's sounding like that's what's going to be happening. Yes.
There's some good shows down there from what I remember.
Well, Well, essentially, I'm going to be around in that area, I guess, for the next year onwards. But like, there's some stuff that I really wanted to hit up here that I'm not going to be able to. Like, Brick World happens over in Schaumburg. That would have been nice. And of course, C2E2, which is just mentioned. And fuck me, I think that's it.
There's one in St. Augie called the Ancient City Con 2022.
What's that about?
I
might make my way out for that.
St. Augustine has a convention?
Yeah.
Like, I know they've got like a lot of pirate cosplayers up there, but they've got pretty much daily engagement. As long as the Ripley Museum stays open.
I'd put money on it. They have like a ghost convention of some kind.
They do.
Bob, you need to go.
What's this?
First person on the guest list is Andrew Robinson Garrick from Deep Space Nine.
What kind of convention is this?
Well,
it looks to be just a multi-con, so it looks like you're going to have just mixed media. You got comics, video games, anime.
Ancient CityCon 2022. Okay, World Golf Village, because why not? Golf's like 60% of the economy in that part of the state.
Well, it's probably got a nice convention center in the hotel.
It's got a very generous open bar as well in the 19th hole, and plenty of ball washers too. You just have to tip them. Remember that. Fuck. Well, if I'm down there at that point, and you're down to go ahead and hit that up with me, I'd be more than happy to, because it's been like way too damn long. Especially after the year that dare not be mentioned, that, and just other shit, just stuff stacking and stacking.
That doesn't narrow it down. There's been a couple of years that shall not be mentioned.
The one big year that shall not be mentioned was the year that we were mentioning like a whole lot in other podcasts during it. September 16th. Fuck. All right. I'm going to see if I can make that happen. But I'm having a brain fart here. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Shit. See, I thought it would have been a good cast to drop today because of the amount of shit that just happened this last week. Other than with Jay, because he was pretty much 50% of the shit, but there was like stuff happening around the drama hurricane that is our host of hosts here.
Well, I want to talk about She-Hulk if no one minds.
Yes,
no, I
please.
don't mind. Go
Because
ahead.
I don't know that I have been more disappointed in a trailer. Because god damn, that looks like shit. That looks so fucking bad.
You're referring to the CGI, correct? Or is there some other factor that's bothering you?
It doesn't feel like She-Hulk to me.
No.
It feels like...
It fucking does not.
It feels like people trying to cop the Dan Slott run or the Peter David run, and only kind of being... It's like what banana candy is. It's like someone described to someone what bananas taste like, and they said, I can make a candy that tastes like that, and it tastes nothing like bananas.
Oh, like Runts.
Yeah, like Runts.
Okay, all right.
And yes, She-Hulk is the Runts of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's like someone described to them, this is what Dan Slott's run like. This is what Peter David's run was like. And they went, I can make that show. And then that happened.
So are you fearful that this is going to become another Star-Lord?
Another Star-Lord.
Yeah, where the Star-Lord in the MCU is nothing like the Star-Lord in the comics.
No, I think it's gonna. I think Jen is going to be Jen. She's a lawyer. Like I don't think they're like she's not going to be working at a fucking bakery. You know, we're not losing that part of the character. Like she is. I don't know. It doesn't have the spark. Like it needs to be quick. It needs to be fucking Ally McBeal. To be honest with you.
I think they're trying to do that and they're trying to kind of like wedge that into whatever the MCU is by this point in its lifespan. Because it feels like it's lost a whole lot of definition after a certain point, especially like after, not even after Endgame, like after Infinity War, and they were like, we got to wrap this shit up. It just became so much That's pretty much like why they're taking like the wilder ideas and turning them into TV shows rather than films and such, which is kind of nuts when you think about it, because TV shows demand so much more coverage than movies do. Movies just have to fill in a screen time mean of at worst 3 hours. Infinity War, that was Endgame, but TV shows were like an hour to clip because of that bullshit standard. 10 episodes, 12 episodes per run. On the average, like 12 hours of content that they have to create. That seems to be like way more of a resource draw than having a film does, even to the scale of Infinity War.
As of late, the Disney Plus series have been anywhere from 6 to 8 episodes, and they've been anywhere from 25 to 45 minutes tops.
Right, that's right. Loki was only 6 episodes, wasn't it?
That's the average. It's about 6 episodes for these series.
Right, okay. So I remember WandaVision being a bit more and overstaying the fuck out of its welcome. But there's a lot there. I'm not going to get into fucking WandaVision again with you, all right? I've done it, and I've said what I thought about
I
it.
didn't know we got into it to begin with.
I don't either. God damn it. Anyway.
Moon Knight was fucking awesome.
we remember that differently. I liked WandaVision, but regardless.
I liked most of WandaVision. I'm still pulling big beefy bullshit on the whole Evan Peters reveal. Nobody in the MCU is that stupid. Given the breadth of weird-ass shit that happens in the MCU on an hourly basis, nobody is going to look at somebody who does not look like the brother that died on them over a decade ago and be like, that could be my brother.
I'm pretty sure that, from what I've been told, that's
that could be my brother.
Madness.
What's that?
I'm pretty sure, from what I've been told, that's been kind of cleaned up in Multiverse of Madness.
God, I hope so, because I was like, yeah, I get it. It's fan service, and somebody thought they were being cute. But the minute that happened, I was like, are you fucking real? Yeah, he's fast, and he could be wearing a wig.
I don't know. It didn't bother me at all.
It was ridiculous, man.
I didn't like Moon Knight. I thought Moon Knight was a fucking ugly man. Yeah, I thought it was terrible. I really did. I didn't think it was good at all.
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say anything.
Just not my thing. Not my thing.
But did you see it, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob liked it, and it's just not for me.
Well, then one of you is objectively wrong.
Probably.
I'll take those odds.
The one that I like the most out of the output so far is the one that I hear like the most shit about, actually, and that was Falcon.
Oh.
No, I haven't seen Hawkeye yet. Falcon Winter Soldier.
I love that series.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Probably because of a lot of bias. I really like the casting in it. Of course, Mackie and Stan are perfect. And I like who they picked for U.S. Agent. And the reveal of Elaine Bennis, or whatever the fuck her name is, as the Phase 4 baddie, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people thought that the political angles of it were like awkwardly handled. There's at least one or two spots where I can kind of capitulate to that, because they're still trying to frame it in like an impossible sort of a narrative. In a universe where literally anything can happen, for some reason this still happens. But it's kind of you buy that with that set, with that.
I
with that
absolutely
setting.
love that premise, because it made total sense. After 5 years, and the population overnight just doubles, and you don't have the amount of resources, that's going to cause some shit. Yeah.
The one thing I will agree with a lot of people on, though, is that they went with the bright white Cap Falcon outfit, which I thought was like hideous even in the comics. And in order to bring that into like 3 dimensions was an insurmountable task as far as I was concerned. I didn't think they were going to go with it, and then they did. And I was like, well, Rob Liefeld's got a big stiff one right now, but I don't. It looked pretty rubbery and goofy towards the end of it. But that was mine, and that's the one that I like hear the most shit about. Loki was good, but Tom Hiddleston carried 75% of it, which is fine.
And then Owen Wilson was the other 25. Wow.
Owen Wilson being
crazy.
Dabney Coleman it was totally my shit. I have no problems with that whatsoever. I feel like most of it was couched in that visual gimmick, that sort of like a retro future. And if you've already seen Beyond the Black Rainbow, then that's not like a new thing to you. And they kind of like leaned like right up against it, be like, look at how visual interesting we are. And it's like, I've seen this before, dude. It was all over the 70s and for a hot minute in 2012. But that was cool. So She-Hulk's kind of like one of mine. You know what I mean? Yeah, like we all have ours from comics.
One of your favorites?
Yeah. There's like, Howard. I got Lobo. I got Guy Gardner. Plastic Man. Jay's got Blue and Gold.
Blue and Gold, Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, right. For one thing, the most pressing question I had about the trailer, not to reuse old material, 2 days old material, is what is it about gamma radiation that gives you a perm? 2,
That's your big hang-up, huh?
that's one of the biggest hang-ups
Okay.
because as far as like dimorphism goes, and that's a word I picked up just yesterday. As far as like dimorphism goes, you would think it wouldn't really affect the follicles all that much, especially since like, Jen Walters in the show is like, she's got permanent, shower head. But somebody put out the idea that like a person's Hulk transformation is actually like how they see themselves on the inside, which if you've read comics, bullshit. Really? Yeah, a little.
She sees herself as a giant green behemoth?
A little bit. Now, that kind of does dovetail somewhat into the whole Doc Samson element of the Peter David run, but once you start getting into like God, who's the weirdo that was writing the Hulk back in like the early 2000s, turned him into an alcoholic? I'm trying to remember this. Anyway, they overwrote that shit so many times. And that with like all the stuff that they borrowed for the previous entries in the MCU and this and with them trying to like dovetail that into it, it's like it stinks a bit. The other stuff is that like the CG doesn't look good for a PS4 game. It looks bad. And for a studio that I made this, I hate sounding like a broken fucking record, but like for a studio that like almost topped out virtual makeup with Davy Jones in the second Pirates movie in 2006, that's ponderous as fuck. Like they've got way more money to work with now. And less of a crazy director, or maybe that's why it was so good. Maybe he was like, "No, this sucks. You're all fired, except maybe not. Come back. We'll work with this a little bit more."
Well, keep in mind that was Disney, and it probably ILM. I'm going to guess. While this is Marvel Studios, so they probably have a different
Dave School?
graphics firm.
That would be pretty awful. Okay. And yeah, saying that's worth throwing my former alma mater under the bus, I don't give a shit. She-Hulk as a concept, there's a reason that like nobody really tried to approach that property ever since Bridget Nielsen, honestly. I don't think anybody's even like tried to, I don't think anybody's even thought about doing this for like over 30 years. And it's a tall goddamn order. Here's the Hulk, which is enough to swallow to begin with. We're going to take Freudianism and turn it into a Jekyll Hyde sort of a thing. How does that hit you? Well, as long as we can change his name to David, I guess we can make it work. She-Hulk is this, except she's self-aware, except she's not as hideous, so you can't really get away with the whole Uncanny Valley-esque nature of makeup special effects. She knows she's being watched, as if there is an audience participating in her adventures at the same time. Now, how do we make this work, gentlemen? Well, what we do is we take this script and then we rip it in half and then we throw it into the garbage can and allocate the budget to something we know, to something that we can understand. I mean, imagine that. Imagine trying to pitch She-Hulk before there was a Deadpool movie. Before a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, for fuck's sake. And people can like throw all kinds of shit at the dark world. I swear that movie made the rest of the MCU safe for viewers. Or safe for producers, at least. So, right. It was going to need to be handled, like, really delicately. And they absolutely did not. They were like, well, you know what we can do with her in order to make this viable? This thing called CGI. Oh, fuck you, man. Fucking fuck you. Nah. If this show works, it's not going to be because of the writing. Fuck, Lord, no, it's not going to be because of the writing, because god damn it, that dialogue was atrocious. That's my other complaint. But I'm just going to assume that they chose like the choicest cuts of crap from the entire run and decided to sell the show off of those merits. It's certainly not going to be because of the visual qualities. It's going to be because of the actress, and she's got a lot of fucking work to do.
Yeah, let's get those fries to go. Like, Jesus fuck, man. Like, yeah, no, Shulky's sex forward. There's no question about that.
Yeah, but she's not.
But she's not cheesy fucking lines.
No. She is cheesy fucking lines. It's just that she's not bad at cheesy fucking lines.
Yes.
She's not shit that would come out of like a 14-year-old self-insert sex comic from a very well-used composition book. She's not that bad. And That's one of the things I was talking about. Like, yeah, there's you can do cheese, but if you do it like insincerely, then it's fucking off-putting as shit.
Yep.
And that was all I was getting from that trailer.
Yeah, but she used that cheesy line on David Otunga, and it worked. So what does that say about him?
No. What worked was the shot that followed it. That was what worked.
Her carrying him.
Yeah, that was it. Because you couldn't see A, most of the CG, and B, well, that kind of a visual already has a built-in audience, if you know what I'm saying. So, right.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The Moon Knight not being for me is one thing, but She-Hulk looks terrible. Ms. Marvel looks fucking atrocious.
Yeah, what's the story with that, by the way?
So they've completely just said, no, we're not going to use any of her powers from the comics. Like, it's Ms. Marvel, it's Kamala Khan in name only.
Mm-hmm, right.
Like, the powers
she's
aren't
not
there.
an Inhuman in this, right?
Nope, she's not an Inhuman. She doesn't have the body-shaping powers.
That's what I really don't fucking like about that.
Like, the entire point of Ms. Marvel is that with her changing her body is it's both a symbol of how she doesn't fit in her own family, because she's a Muslim girl who wants to be a superhero, wants to be out and be, who she is and show her personality when her religion and her family is saying, no, you need to hide that.
Right.
And it's also a symbol of a person transforming as a teenager and turning into an adult. And it was supposed to be the symbol of that. And she doesn't do that now. Now she makes light beams and creates hard light constructs. I'm like, that's a fucking Green Lantern ring.
Yeah. That's a fucking bummer. And they had like such an opportunity to go places, like a lot of places with that. And honestly, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that maybe the production team on Ms. Marvel didn't have a whole lot of back and forth with the production team on She-Hulk, because if so, they would have been like, look, we're making this shit work. Why can't you just do... I mean, it might not turn out so well, but that's not stopping you from taking chances, is it? Really?
Meanwhile, producers over at Disney, like, as long as it doesn't interfere with Kenobi, do it. We don't give a crap. Whatever.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I think they're like, as long as it's Marvel, we don't give a shit. And people will still come and watch it, and we'll up our subscription count because everyone's fucking ditching Netflix. But, yeah.
Well, that's for good reason, though.
My rejection of Netflix is turning into like a bit of a mania now, because yesterday I got one of their little solicitations in my inbox. And you know how cloying they can get, like, come back to us. We miss you. No, you don't. You're a faceless corporate entity. How can you miss? And it was like $9.99 for per month. And I was like, what does this mean? And then they started making a mountain out of mashed potatoes. Anyway. And it's one of those things where, like, they're showing you a number, the number that you were comfortable paying with a couple of months ago for the subscription, and then thinking to yourself, is this a temporary thing? Is this like an offer? Is this like when Comcast tells you that you're only paying $60 a month, but that only goes about as far as like a half a year's worth of service or something like that? They're trying really hard, and they're trying really hard to lie for new subscriptions. But they're not trying anything in the way of like actually providing or getting back loyal customers anymore. And man, that's vexing as hell. because you remember what Netflix's big thing was. It's just like everyone's like sick of cable. There's too much overhead now, and well, this doesn't have everything, but it has enough, and it's convenient. This works. Oh, and it's also $7.99. Why would you take everything that like people like opted into for that service and just like quickster the shit out of it?
Nice.
Because it was the same fucking fucks that... And that apparently learning disability is actually a thing amongst a group of people.
Every so often I get this offer from Spotify. It's like, hey, we'd welcome you back for like a third of the value for 3 months. Like, well, it's nice to be wanted, but you're not getting my money.
Oh no, this bit of spam actually didn't have any of the subtext on it. It was just like $9.99, and I was looking all over for it. Just, okay, how are you going to fucking fist me on this? Where is it? And it wasn't anywhere in the email. So they're getting guerrilla about things, and you gotta try harden up, man. For one thing, try this. Quit throwing half of your operating costs at things that suck that nobody watches. Do that first. Second, if you gotta spend flush on big projects, Give them a second season to find their audience, especially if
Yeah,
especially
let them
if
flesh out.
the first audience is there already, and it's not as robust as you want it to be. Fuck you, man. You gave Lock and Key a second season just because they didn't spend as much as Archive 81. That show sucks balls and nobody watched it, but it was cheaper. And the weirder thing is that, like, when they assess Netflix originals, like TV series, they don't go by like complete. They don't go by like audience retention or anything like that. They go by a watch pattern or some silly thing, where the viewing habits of the people that see it have to be in line with how viral the speech is about it. So if somebody's talking about it for like a week straight on Twitter and the viewership isn't there, or I'm sorry, flip that. If the people are watching it but nobody's talking about it on Twitter, then they're like, it's a failure. That's
Right.
fucked up.
I think the dropping a whole season at once thing, that's what's really hurting Netflix, because some of these other series, they drop one episode, everyone talks about it for a week, and they get that anticipation. It's like, oh, tomorrow's Wednesday, here we go for another episode, and that drops, and the whole cycle restarts again.
Yeah.
But with Netflix, they drop like half the season or a whole season of a series, and you have to binge and watch it, otherwise you could get it spoiled or some other nonsense like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's completely tied to social media dynamism, and that's a fucked up fucking way of running a fucking business. I
Well,
mean,
it worked at first, but I think they're at a point where we have to rethink this.
I think it worked well enough that they decided to make it an operating business model, though. And then they got super cold feet when Iron Fist dropped. If anybody remembers that. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a reason that was like one of the first big shows that got canceled and created that many headlines. So many people wanted to see it canceled. But
Then they went and did the fucking Defenders with the
yeah.
same director.
And then they went and did, different creator. It was not Scott Buck this time. The dude that poisoned Dexter, of all things. Oh, and turned, speaking of the Inhumans, turned that into a 4-letter word for Marvel. How does that guy still get work? No, it was like a resounding failure, especially for something that was tied to that license. It was also its first high-profile cancellation, even though other stuff had gone before it. But after that, you saw like stuff getting canceled left and right.
I think Cowboy Bebop got canceled in its first week on the air.
Second day.
Something
Second
like that,
day.
Yeah. I want to touch upon indies really quick. If anybody saw the Nintendo showcase, because that was like another part of the deluge of shit that happened in the last week. First of all, there is a demo on there for something called Card Shark. Download that immediately.
That's one that takes place in France, right?
That's one that takes place in France. It is a text adventure game, and it is about cardistry. So I need you to experience that right away. Although it's not also about really good animation, but it just happens to have that in it.
Okay.
So there's
I was
that.
thinking the Trigger Umbrella game looked good.
Gunbrella? Yeah,
Gunbrella.
that's my shit. I'm definitely on that. Yeah, so shit. Card Shark, Gunbrella looks fucking good, and anything described as like noir punk is definitely on the radar. But fucking A, yeah, that was a deluge of awesome. And the big surprise, I don't think this actually was part of the indies thing, but a game called Shattered is getting an HD or an up-res or some sort of a remake. It's a Brick Breaker. It's one of the first things I played when I got a PC, and that shit is stunning and has just the tits of all tits of a soundtrack. So now that people are going to be like knowing what that's all about, and I'm really excited to see that in the public discussion too. But that was a cool drop.
That's going to wrap it up for episode, of the Cretins Guild podcast.
Don't even try anymore.
Episode 100XX. Go with that.
Thank you all for joining us today. Be sure to join our Discord, and you can check out the link tree in all of our descriptions and on all of our pages. It's going to take you to all of our socials, and all of our other media can be found in the description, or just do a search for Cretins Guild. We're like the only fucking one on the internet. You can follow Skipper Bob on YouTube at Skipper Bob's Breakdowns. That is breakdowns, all one word. You can follow me on YouTube at Square Pegs. I am the one without Sarah Jessica Parker. We've got merch on tpublic.com that features the art of Tom Solo and our high-cost lawyers, Boots and Beasley from Bums R Us. Assure us that all products are legally confirmed to keep you warm on those cold summer nights. We are, of course, part of the PODFIX network, and as always, somehow, and to all of our followers, new and old, we say, welcome to the Guild.
This was a podcast of the PODFIX Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
Join us on Tout with all your dogs and cats.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
Just have to get that out of your bloodstream.